Hello viewers, this Too-Fast here. Several videos ago I did a full review and install of the Thinkware U1000 Dashcam. If you haven't seen that video, I will link it at the end of this video. Now in that video I showed you how to hardwire the Dashcam to the car battery so you'll have parking mode function. One big drawback of using a car battery to power the parking mode is you're constantly draining the car battery each time you turn off the ignition. Also, you have to make sure the parking mode cutoff voltage is set properly on the Dashcam so you don't drain the battery so low that you can't start the car. With this type of setup, it'll only give you a couple of hours of parking mode monitoring before it switches off to conserve battery power. A better option is to install a proper Dashcam backup battery. There's the Thinkware iVOLT BAB-50 external battery. Let me show you what comes with it. There's the output power cable used to connect from the external battery to the Dashcam. This is the input charging cable. Fuse. Mounting tape. And a couple of different fuse taps. User manual. And this is a BAB-50 battery pack. Here's a look at everything you get with this battery system. As you can see, this Thinkware iVOLT battery is very compact, which makes installation very easy. This device uses lithium iron phosphate battery cells, which can operate in extreme temperature conditions. It's rated for -10 degrees Celsius to 60 degrees Celsius, or 14 degrees Fahrenheit to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. This battery pack outputs 12 to 14.6 volt at a maximum of 2 amps. It's rated for 1500 charge cycles. If you hardwire the charge port to the fuse box, charge time is about 45 minutes. If you connect it to a cigarette lighter plug for charging, then the charge time is about 16 minutes. With a 1-channel Dashcam, this battery pack can operate the parking mode for 20 hours. With a 2-channel Dashcam, it can operate the parking mode for 16 hours. Let's have a closer look at this battery pack. There's the top of the unit. Flip this over. Here's a look at the bottom. These two spots are where you install the double-sided mounting tape. Let's have a look on this side. On the left is the input charging connector. Next to it is the output connector. Right here is a charging mode switch. The middle position is off, so this battery pack is not charging. Now if you switch this to the left side, there's a low charging. This is used if you're charging with a cigarette lighter plug and the charging current is 5 amp. If you switch this to the right side, there's a high position. Use this setting if you're charging directly from the fuse box and the charging current is 7 amp. On the right side are 2 LED indicators. This one here is a charge LED and this one on the right is a full LED. Let me show you how to connect the cables to this battery pack. With a charging cable, plug this connector to the input connector on the battery pack. On the other end of this cable, you have this bare wire and this ring terminal. The ring terminal will be tied to the chassis ground of the vehicle. With this bare wire, you'll be using one of the fuse taps that's included. Connect this to the fuse tap and then plug the fuse tap into the ignition 12 volt in your fuse box. So when you turn on the ignition, it'll start charging this battery pack. With a DC output cable, connect this connector to the output connector. On the other end of this cable, there are 3 wires, yellow, red, and black. The yellow wire is constant 12 volt, the red wire is ignition 12 volt, and the black wire is common ground. You connect these 3 wires to the 3 wires on a hardwire kit that's connected to your Dashcam. With this install, I'll be connecting the charge cable directly to the fuse box, so the switch here will be set to high. Now let's take this to the vehicle and get it installed. The Dashcam battery will be installed in this 2019 Honda Odyssey, where I have the Thinkware U1000 Dashcam installed right here. Now in the review video of this Dashcam, I showed you how to hardwire the Dashcam into the fuse box. That allowed the parking mode to operate using the car battery. Right now you're looking at the Dashcam hardwire kit that was installed previously. The yellow wire is a constant 12 volt, and that's going to the fuse tap over here on this side. The red wire is ignition 12 volt, and this one is going to the fuse tap on the left side here on the fuse box. Now the charging cable on the battery pack only has 2 wires. One will connect to the ignition 12 volt, and the other wire will go to common ground. Now if you look at the wiring that comes with the battery pack, you'll see 3 fuse taps. Here we have the ATC. This one is the ATM. This third one is a Micro2, but does not come with the ATM low profile. And this Honda Odyssey uses the ATM low profile fuse. I know many new vehicles are also using the ATM low profile, so I'm not sure why they did not include that type of fuse taps. So for this install, I'll be using the fuse tap that I had previously. Here's a side-by-side look of these fuse taps. The one on the right is the ATM low profile that I'm using in this vehicle. Let me go over how this fuse tap works. You see there are two slots on this fuse tap. The bottom slot is for the fuse that came out of the vehicle. You want to take that fuse and plug it into the bottom slot. The top one is for the accessory you're adding onto this circuit. So the voltage will come in on the left side right here. It'll go to these two fuses. The bottom fuse will have the voltage come in and go out on the right side to complete that circuit. And then the top fuse will have voltage coming in and it'll go out onto this wire that's right here. So there is an input side and an output side, and you want to install the fuse tap in the right direction with the voltage coming in on one side and the voltage going out on the other side. I'll use a butt connector to crimp the positive wire to the fuse tap. Here I'll use my multimeter to check which side of the fuse has 12 volt. I turn on the ignition. I'll probe one side of the fuse. As you can see, it's 12 volt. Now I'll probe the other side. And you can see 0 volt. So I know the top side on this fuse slot is applying the 12 volt. Now I'll plug in the fuse tap. Next, connect the ground wire with a ring terminal to chassis ground. I'll be bolting it to this bolt right here. Here I'll connect the 3 wires from the hardwire kit to the 3 wires that's on the output wire for the battery pack. It's very simple. You just have to match a color, yellow to yellow, red to red, black to black. I'll use butt connectors to make these connections. Let me show you where I'll be installing the battery. Underneath the driver's seat, there's a spot right here. This will fit perfectly right here. Route both wires along the side towards the driver's seat. Connect the 2 cables. Since the area that I'll be placing the battery is carpeted, I'll use the side of the Velcro that has a hook. I'll stick this underneath the battery pack, and then this will grip onto the carpet surface. Here's a look at the installed battery pack. Start the car up. The dash cam will turn on and begin recording. If I turn off the ignition, the dash cam will go into parking mode and is powered by the external battery. Well, I hope you enjoy watching this video. This Thinkware BAB-50 battery pack is not very difficult to install. With it, you can now operate the dash cam's parking mode without any strain on your car battery. You don't have to worry about coming back to a vehicle that has a dead battery and you can't start the car. At the time of making this video, you can get this BAB-50 for $250 at Black Box My Car. Now I know it's somewhat expensive, but it's a good investment if you're serious about protecting your vehicle, and it will save your car battery. I'll include the link in the description below. One more thing I want to mention before ending this video is in the next video I'll be installing the Thinkware radar module, which will help extend the parking monitor time by 6 times. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, remember to click on a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, please click on the subscribe button to support this channel. Also click on the notification bell so you'll get notified of my new videos. Thank you and have an awesome day.